Blessed love, give thanks for life and the mighty life giver, Jah
Rastafari.
Rastafari. This is the African Liberation Network, and I'm the host, Honorable Prophet Daniel. And we're here with a special guest, Honorable Priest Kailash at Mt Kailash Retreat Wellness Center, right? Yeah. So today we're going to reason with the priest, about African liberation and his area of expertise, which is health and well-being. So, Honorable, blessed love, my Lord.
Give thanks, my Lord.
Yeah, give thanks for your presence with us. Thanks for having us at the mountain.
Give thanks.
Yes. Can you just give us a reasoning about the importance of health and well-being as it pertains to African liberation?
When you say African liberation, what do you mean? The liberation of the continent?
The people, the continent.
Well, liberation just means that being free,
Mm-hmm.
So if it is that free in what context? Um, Free from oppression, free from disease, free from sickness, free from economic strife, because well-being is not just restricted to not having diabetes or high blood pressure or prostate cancer or breast cancer. Well-being is being able to have something to eat when you rise up in the uprising.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to, for a child to be able to afford a proper education. Being able to take care of someone when they're not well. Just all these different aspects comes with well-being, the physical, taking care of it, the emotional, the spiritual, economical, cultural, meaning that we are anchored and rooted in our own realities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I deal with wellness, but not just from a sickness and disease perspective, but from a holistic perspective, and not only just as an African, a man of African ascendance, just as a man,
Mm-hmm.
as a human being. So it is knowing that it's I and I, which is not either or neither nor. It is I and I. So it's not a difference between people, but within the difference is just one similarity that we just want people. So for you to be well, that means that the other man have to be well. So you cannot be living good and eating and drinking and then your next door neighbor starving. He has nothing to eat. Obviously, if you have fruit trees that have nice juicy fruits in it, and then your neighbor, his children, you have 3 or 4 children and they have nothing to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a big fence with dogs and everything in your yard, and you have nice fruit trees, and your next door neighbor hungry, what do you think will happen?
Well, there'll be contention, resentment.
Well, he'll climb and he'll come and steal the
For
fruits,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of hunger. So it's not just the well-being of the one, but it's the well-being of the all on all these different levels. So Africa liberation means just the liberation of people, So as people of African ascendance, our thing, the way that we actually live is just for the oneness and for the goodness of people. That's why we are Rastafari, righteous people. So our principles is always on that level of equity and balance. So yes, in my context of liberation, I would say, well, so the liberation of people,
Truly.
just human beings, just greater than an individual race or a geographic location, because sometimes we restrict ourselves to definitions and locations and all these different aspects. And then, as His Imperial Majesty say until a philosophy that holds one race inferior and next one superior. You understand? So it is critical that we remove all these different separations and and just deal with that article level as King Emmanuel teaches. So Africa well-being is wellness is or liberation. That the wellness thing is liberation of the whole world, the whole globe. So
True.
that's my view.
Yeah, give thanks, my Lord. It's a holistic approach. So now, all right. With that being said, though, there is a specific set of conditions that people of African ascendance are faced with based on our history, which doesn't start with the transatlantic, what they call slave trade, but that had a big impact on our ancestors, and it still has an impact on our position and our lot in life today, as we have not really um, healed from that. As a people, we haven't gotten any restitution or restoration from the governments and things that inflicted those crimes against African humanity. So there's a lot of poverty and bad health, um, based on the practices that our ancestors learned on the plantation. So when it comes to Black people, African people, who I know are not the only people who suffer, but specifically to the Black people, what are some lifestyle choices that we can begin to embrace and apply to our daily lives, that we can become more healthy as a set of people? And when I say that, I don't mean just like food and herbs, but all around the board, like holistically, how can we approach life better so that we can get rid of some of the dis-ease and things that cause us to be on such a unhealthy way in a lot of instances.
Well, as Marcus Garvey said, let no man do for you what you could do for yourself. So that's the foundation of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they also say that laziness is the root of poverty, because out of the poorest places comes off the most beautiful. I mean, even in sewer, in sewage, in poop, some beautiful things grow from that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our attitude towards life. So it's all about perception. So if you're looking from top to bottom, you see something. If you're looking from bottom to up, you see something. If you look from the right side, you see something. So right now I cannot see your right ear, right? But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
True.
So the perception I have of you is that you have one ear. Okay.
Understood.
So it's based upon our perceptions and how we actually look at life. That would determine even what we think, what we eat, what we drink, where we go. So our people, as people of African ascendants, our people who were not slaves, but they were enslaved people.
Mm-hmm.
It is traumatic, yet still it has already been done. And the only way that you could get freedom or be a free man is by taking your freedom. It's not like somebody cannot give you freedom. It's not like you're going to sit down and wait for a man to tell you you're free, or no, you basically have that responsibility. Why wait for a man to do something for you that you could do for yourself? You could take your freedom. So, because of our attitude towards our liberty, that is why most of us still living in that oppressed state of what do we perceive as being rich or poor, or happy or sad. The different aspects of the things that we set our heart's desires upon. It's not that we are in a really bad place. There are some wonderful things happening within us as a people. But what you celebrate is what you magnify. So it's not our issue is not what people do to us, but what we do to our own selves.
Mm.
Whereby we could come to the point of just celebrating yourself. Go celebrate yourself. So we don't believe in the principle of self-praise is no praise. Self-praise is the first praise. Being able to see your own intrinsic value and being able to value yourself and know your worth. That's going to determine how you behave, how you speak, how you eat, how you drink, just because of how you value yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give yourself no value, how is it that you'll be able to treat yourself? If you have a very expensive vehicle, certain places you just won't go with it for sure. because it's expensive.
Mhm.
You know, if you bought your pants for a certain amount of money, you think you're going to sit down on a stay in the chair with it? No. So you deal with it based upon the value that you give that thing to you, whether sentimental or economic.
Mhm.
So we must start from that point.
Mindset.
Yeah, mindset, just the perception. You know, make a conscious decision that you walk the road that leads to your own happiness. That's for the best outcome for you possible. So yes, there are poor people, but there are people that were born poor, but right now are billionaires. All right. So there are circumstances whereby our people then even like and that's why we have the principle of the righteous entrepreneur. So being able to rise and people rise up with you. So you become, so and then rise up because you could because you're a righteous man, you can't be a billionaire or trillionaire. You could and be doing righteous things.
Mhm.
So it is critical that our perception of things don't limit us, and then all of our actions are towards our own liberty and our own fundamental wellness. And so if our people is in poverty, what can I do to assist them? So if each person takes up one person, the world will be a better place.
Truly.
You understand?
Mhm.
So let us see what we could do for ourselves. Because as when the love and the overstanding grow among ourselves, then you could take your freedom. But you have to ask nobody that.
Mhm.
Say, give me that one, that's mine, man. And then they'll get to you. Why? Because you as a unit, you're strong. Because you've worked it out. You've as I say, from center to circumference.
Mhm.
From the inside out. Yeah.
Yeah. So on an individual level, because a group is made out of individuals. Often when we think about, say, like African liberation and things, we're thinking mostly as a group. But if you get a group of unhealthy, unwhole individuals together, then it's really not a strong group at all, is it?
Well, I mean, the strength of the cable is based upon the strength of the threads, the single threads that make up the cable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build a cable with clay, and when you break,
Yeah.
so it's basically the cable has to be, the threads of the cable have to be strong. So it is the I and I. It's the I in the I and the I in the I. Ubuntu I am because we are. So if each person do their fulfill their responsibility, all is well
Mm-hmm.
for the collective. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's all that matters. So it is a Daniel time where you stand within your principles and you stand within that, and then because you stand and another man stand and another man and a woman stand and two children stand and
Mm-hmm.
then the collective is strong.
True.
So it is critical that we don't only just focus on what other people do, but what we are doing. So focus on yourself. That's a journey that you're on. Not just for the people. Oh, then it's for the people and to free my people. Oh yes, boy, yeah, free people. But then you free yourself. The journey is for self-realization.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've realized yourself, then you become a star. Then you could illuminate the path of plenty other people.
Give thanks, my Lord.
Rastafari.
Yes, sir. So now, when it comes to food and nutrition, and even medicine, which we know that you are, a master of, explaining and ministering. Would you say that Black people, African people, have been, or that food and nutrition has been weaponized against us?
That's saying that nobody has to weaponize nothing against you because you make a choice. Okay, right now where you live is a choice you make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what you eat is a choice you make. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come to that realization and self-value, that you really value what you eat and drink, if it means you come out of where you are, you'd come out because you've developed that intrinsic value system that you are willing to get the best of what is for you and you're willing to go out for it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yes, we could sit down and say black people this and black people and black people and black people this. And the same black people, when Black Friday comes, they are pushing down thing and to buy whatever, and they still there buying all the weaves and all the perms and
Yeah.
all the sneakers and and all these different aspects. So I think that, as I say, it's from center to circumference. Let us start by fixing ourselves, fixing our individual selves.
Mm-hmm.
Then at least before we look out, to of what a man doing to us is what we're doing to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So take responsibility for your actions as a man. So your where you are, yes, it could be there is systematic um down pressure. All these things are there. But that is why diamond is diamond. Diamond is carbon that has actually, crystallized under extreme pressure and become this gem that I mean, it's worth the worth of it is phenomenal. The strongest gem, carbon. So imagine a piece of charcoal, huh? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that going through intense pressure and crystallize into a precious stone that nothing else can cut. So we have a choice to see what effect the pressure could have on us, whether we are victims or we are victors.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you take your circumstance. So if you rise up yourself as a victor, that means you could rise up plenty people with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is, beloved. We are in a circumstance because of the choices that we make. And if you say, well, if you don't have a choice, that's what Marcus Garvey say, well, when the back is against the wall, right? If you don't have a choice, right? What are you gonna do? If you think and you're ready to have a choice, you do anything. Boy, do anything, man. Yeah, man, do
Mm-hmm.
anything. Yeah. So don't wait until you don't have a choice. All right. So Marcus Garvey say, where's the black man business? Where's the black man school? Where's the black man thing? So where's the Rasta man business? Where's the Rasta man school? Where's the Rasta man this? Right. So it is for up to us. When you see the need for it, you do it. Right. So on whatever scale you do it, just because you're doing it, someone else will look and you become a role, not cool, you become a role model, right, for plenty different people. So our position, yes, we went through hard times, right, but we cannot sit down in that and keep on saying that we're number one in the world in diabetes and number one in high blood pressure and most fibroids, most this, most that. Okay, yes, okay, all right, then what are we doing about it then?
Mm-hmm.
What's the solution? What's the solution? Right, so the solution is that you begin to take responsibility for your own destiny. All right. So you begin to don't leave your food on someone else. I mean, you're in the mountain. I'm sure you've seen all type of food. I cook a yaba pot today. Everything was from the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So all these lands you see around the place that have all these big trees growing, people used to be planting. So all underneath these big forested things there, probably 50 years, 60 years, they abandoned it. All they used to have cocoa and all different type of things people used to plant in the forest.
Okay.
Right? So they abandon it and then they go into the city. So and then they're hungry. So it's not only the people in New York, or the people in Baltimore, the people in St. Lucia that's in the abundance of green and tropical and fresh water and sunshine. Yeah. Another time is rice they had today. Enough of them don't have a chives or seasoning pepper, an okra or a tomato that they could pass and they could pick, and when they could plant it in a bucket or they could do something. So it's us as a people that has to reanalyze our values, and begin to make decisions to uplift ourselves. Right. So it's not only the African man in St. Louis in New York, because oh, everybody so hard in New York and think no, it's the African man in St. Lucia. That's and it's not rich and poor because they have lands. I'm telling you that the elders had, and none of the children want to plant it. And tell me what you could plant that will not sell. Tell me something that you would plant that would not sell.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. Right? So if you plant oranges, it will sell. If you plant papaya, it will sell. If you plant cocoa, it will sell. If you plant herbs, it will sell. Whatever you plant, it will sell. You know?
Yeah. Just have to apply yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What? I have to review. Let's see. All right. Spirituality. Could you kind of give us some insight into what is spirituality and how it affects our, state of being as people, as it pertains to being free, being liberated?
I know that most of your questions probably, when people speak now, they want to know about alkaline and eat this or don't eat that, and that will, if we're still in that level where someone still has to be telling you what to eat and drink, you fail already, right? Yeah, because right now, the vagrant eats from the trash. The vagrant, he eats from the trash, and he might be as strong as anyone else.
Yeah.
Right, because he has no mortgage, and he has no mortgage, he has no rent.
He ain't stressed.
He has no stress. All right, so he'll eat from the rubbish, and he won't get no type of gastrointestinal thing and no diarrhea. And go and drink a little sour something there. Go and eat a little food you leave on the stove, and eat it now and see what happens to your stomach.
Yeah.
Right, but the vagrant will eat them things and they won't get sick. So we understand that the significance of your other manifestations, how these affect your physical structure. So spirituality doesn't operate in a vacuum. Spirituality is spirituality of a being that has a physical and emotional, that has a vibration, that has a soul, that do have a spirit, which is just one of its components, and still have a star and still is a God. Right? So these things that don't operate in a vacuum. Everything operates in a one. So your spirituality, has a lot to do with your surrounding. That's why they say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So if you want to maintain a particular life, it's good that you associate yourself with a particular type of people. That's common sense. So at the end of the day, that would be your effort, your vibrations, what you surround yourself with. If you want to be spiritual, then you have to be able to control what you eat and drink. You have to be able to fast. All right? So that's just your physical self now. How it affects your own spirituality. Then you still have your emotional. So if something happen and you cry, and you're screaming and thing, how are you going to be spiritual? Huh? So then that has to be in check. All right? So your soul, your conscience, your personal blueprint in the soul world, your personal navel string, connection into the source. See, when you say man soulless, that means that he don't have conscience, he don't have a heart, He does anything. I'm a soulless man, he does anything. So your soul is that you're how conscious you are. You are. So all these things there. So spirit don't operate in a vacuum. It operates within a system of values, of things that are critical for our overall, wellness as a people, because you consider these other parts of you. So you could have all the food that if they put you in a room all by yourself and they just give you food, and you're there all by yourself, and every day you just see food coming into you, you're gonna like to live like that?
In a room by myself? No.
No. right?
Mm-hmm.
So just having food, not the solution, right?
Right.
Okay, then. So there are different aspects, okay, that you have to think. So your spiritual strength, because it don't matter whether you are an Adventist, whether you are Catholic, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Jew, whether you are, you know, Satanist, whatever you want to be, you that's your business,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But that that your spiritual path, whatever you say that you're going to weigh your salvation on, I mean, as long as your ultimate objective is right, everyone is going to meet at some point. Because if we're going towards right, okay,
Mm-hmm.
right we're going towards, and you Adventist and you're going towards right. This person that is Catholic, he's going towards right. The Muslim going towards right. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
Jew going to, at some point, if that's over, if right is over there, where would all you all meet?
Right.
At right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
everyone is gonna meet
Mm-hmm.
at that point. So we should stop for what difference is. You don't just focus on the our unique goal. Okay, the goal of just being right, being helpful, critical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So don't look at it as a vacuum. Look at it as a combination. Yeah, that can allow you to just be free enough to, as you know, your spirit is an extension of is your breath. That's the yeah. This is just remember air is there, Well, you can't see the air, but it's the wind is blowing.
Right.
So your spirit is like that, it's there. I mean there are things that you cannot see, not because you can't see it, it's not there. It's there, right? So it dwells within the temple, is your physical structure, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's connected to the I am spirit. So you could have a good spirit or you could have an evil spirit. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Right? So they
Mm-hmm.
say good man is God in flesh and evil man is Satan in flesh. So definitely my Lord, so just be good man and love yourself, love others, do good, be empathetic. Be happy. Yeah, best to be as stress free as possible. That's how you feed your spirit.
Mm-hmm. Simple and plain.
Yeah, man. Mm.
Regardless of religion or
Yeah.
culture or anything like
It
that,
don't
you
matter.
can find it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could find it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me that the people that never know about no church and they live in the bush for how long and thing and they
Mm-hmm.
never think so they'll go to hell?
No.
No. They can't go to hell forever because at the end of the day, everyone, is righteousness, right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not because not one person not righter than the other. We're gonna get to the point. We're going to meet because we're going to the same place.
Yes, I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that very question is what made me. I asked myself that question. I used to go to church when I was young, coming up, Christian church, Baptist church. And I started thinking because the pastor kept saying, if you don't accept Jesus, then you're going to hell for sure. And I'm like, but there's people who live clean. They don't have jail. They don't have crime. How could they be wrong, just because they're not of your religion? So, yeah, give thanks, my Lord. All right, then, and kind of to wind it up, I like to, ask you about your recent voyage to Africa. What did you go for? What did you do while you were there? And any kind of story or insight, inspiration for people who are curious about Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a publicized mission, but yesterday it was like I do a lot of work with youth
Mm-hmm.
in St. Lucia. We do a lot of work in intervention with violence and crime. So on that level, we also mentor lots of people, right? People in different aspects of their lives. Lots of people from all type of levels, though, right? So a young brethren that I mentor, he has what he call the NQA American Football Camp in Ghana, which basically it's a camp that of about anything up to 120 people, youths that are selected and even the teams that they so that the purpose of the camp basically is to root forward the youths, utilize sports as I mean to root them forward into the whole history. So like the teams, if there are 10 teams, one is Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, you know, or
Black heroes,
black heroes and
sheroes.
sheroes, yeah, Santawa, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So they get to learn about these people apart from the football and so it allowed me to so it was that and went to support the brethren
Mm-hmm.
in that light as just to even to full take in the whole thing as to address certain key aspects of whatever going on, to meet certain key people, dignitaries, because it was a group of over 40 something of us coming into Africa. So we had, so it was a mission, and that's the third year to basically, and it was good for me to see, how professional athletes, how the discipline, how they motivate one another, and how they could motivate a youth man to build up his confidence. Yeah, man, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes as people, we look at people's achievements and we look at what people do and we just say, boy, man, you couldn't do that, man, Yet still, the core principles of that person's excellence is based upon a high level of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So thus, they're supposed to be celebrated in the path, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are exuding that characteristic of excellence. So that was good for me to see. We had several other meetings and several different aspects, but one of the key things that I do is just mentor, like, but with people that understand the value of what they're getting. Because when you mentor people, it's like you put in your life essence in them. Because somebody have to care to talk to you. No one has to talk to you, they don't care. Who talk to you, they don't care. They have to care enough. Because the man that knows,
Mm-hmm.
he knows. But does he care enough to have a conversation? So when you're speaking to someone, because you have an age group now, there's a know-it-alls. Yeah, man, I know. So if you say, well, brethren, when you're wrapping your turban, you have to make sure you pull that. Yeah, man, I know. But when you look at his turban, you see his turban is on the side, it's crooked. And you're trying to tell him, wrap your turban like that inside. Tell him, yeah, man, I know. And you look at his turban, it's all crooked and it's
Like
still.
you obviously don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, but you know.
But you tell him, yeah.
Yeah, so then you would have to be humble in your own self enough to know that he doesn't know. And then figure out a way to make him understand that he doesn't know, that he could wrap his turban properly. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a responsibility. All right. So when every great person that you know in the world, there are people that invest time and energy in them. It's not like as if you do think I'm not a product of myself. I'm a sum of the influence of many people. There are many people who have given me a lot of strength, a lot of love. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people who just come into my life at the right time. Yeah. So it's not a singularity, it's a plurality. Just to be able to appreciate love that understand that and say, well, yeah, you are investing your value. So I added value to the works the brethren doing in Africa. As a youth man that I mentor. And mean that he got GQ's best dressed NFL player and was features highlighted in the Super Bowl halftime, and Ghana was highlighted because of he dresses African.
Mm-hmm.
So being in Africa, it was a big celebration of him now as Ghanaian representing Ghana on such a huge stage
Mm-hmm.
in all his traditional wear and all these different aspects. right? So the reception was good, with presidents and and kings and different people of all different type of people that. So it's a good thing to see. Well, that's why I say that you call that the righteous algorithm. You know? So you do good, and your good now, goes viral. Yeah. So I love to see these things there and to be parts of things that have goodness. So it don't matter what the action is, as long as the end result of it, what you do when you're doing it for the upliftment of your people, then it's a good action. So a man might be playing football, and yes, you don't agree with that, and you say, boy, that football is a thing game, only, this man, right? But then you could at least honor the fact that for a man to be how do you call it, the man that train the ball again, the
Quarterback.
quarterback, right? This man have to train it, that must have bigger, you must have bigger, and so you see the amount of training, it's a high level of commitment. So I respect that. So when you have youths as young as 23, 22, 20, yeah, and it's youths, and because now we see them as, boy, this man is a this or reggae man or this and that, you don't even guide them. You don't want to give them a love, a counsel, that you could have there, that you could, help to keep that light in them shining, because they are good youths. There are plenty of good youths, and all they need is just someone to care enough just to invest every energy in them. So Africa was that, just investing in the youths.
Okay.
So it was very progressive. I did do some lectures with the Rasta community. I met one, two people. Yeah, but all in all, yeah, I give thanks for the impact on the youths.
Was there anything that that you maybe, upon being there, maybe you had like a misconception about that was, proven false, or was there anything that you just didn't know that you found out when you got there?
Well, I really, been exposed to like the professional sports and the professional athletes. That's what I would say. Well, the addition was to see how they boost up one another's self-confidence and esteem.
Okay.
How they motivated the youths, and you could see the youth perform. I'm talking about in a 3-day camp. You start to play football and the type of, and being able to catch the ball or throw the ball, or and yeah, in a short space of time, to see how that intense kind of atmosphere, and pass on that energy to the youths. Yeah, that I appreciate, loved to witness that.
Cool.
Yeah, to see that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it gave me an added value to them type of things.
To sports, or just in people encouraging each other?
The prince in professional sports, the spirit of encouragement.
You have a different respect for professional athletes now, or?
I always respect for anyone who excels in whatever that they are doing, right? Anyone. But the fact that it was uplifting, the fact to see how the teamwork that uplifts one another's self-confidence in a low confidence person, and allowing them to grow in confidence that they could actually excel, that was an additional value to me.
Yeah, well, that's important because, as you said earlier, as far as the mindset, your level of self-confidence is really big when it comes to your ability to see yourself as valuable, like as you were saying before, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I see the importance of doing that for one another. So that's something we as a people, people in the world in general, need to really understand and do.
Yeah, man. Congratulate people and tell them, yeah, man, you could do it, man. Yeah. Great job, right? Yeah, man, you could do it, man. Great job. Yeah. Yeah. Very important.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, in closing, would you mind telling the viewers about if you have any upcoming retreats or any services that you offer, any products, where to find them, your book, just.
Well, this is not a promo. Okay. Don't feel no way, right?
Yeah, well, no, I like to, because you got a new audience, so.
Yeah.
Maybe they never heard of Priest Kailash, and they
Yeah.
might want to know what it is that they can buy or to
In,
support.
in this day and age, you know, everyone Googles and Instagrams and social medias. So just the fact that they seen my name as on the title there, a couple of them would have already searched and Google and, you know, probably see what, you know, what is that priest do and these type of things. One of the core principles whereby, yes, you know, we have websites, you know, but you might have it in the link or something, you know, but at the end of the day, the foundation of healing begins with that spirit of you just wanting it so much that you look for it. So I'm one that like people to look for what that's the first step.
Understood.
That you want to heal so much that you start to look for it. You know? So just like you have a true friend and you see that you thirsty, he don't just tell you thirsty, you know. He don't ask you whether you want water, you know. He just give you water.
True.
Yeah, you won't say, man, you looking thirsty, you know, man. Wow, you're about dry there, man. You thirsty, yeah? You thirsty? Yeah, and then they'll give you no water.
Yeah.
But your true friend will come, probably say, man, you have a thing there, no, for you. Look some water, my lord. Thanks. Yeah.
All right.
Rastafari.
Yeah, well, to the viewers, Honorable Priest Kailash, he's obviously an intelligent man, very good at what he does. You know, we're here on his land, his retreat center, wellness center. It's beautiful here. I've been here for a retreat. He invited me, and it was a great experience. Much at the time, I needed it very much, and it was very uplifting for me. I encourage you to look into who is Priest Kailash, what does he do, his products are, you know, they're out there, his website, his book. So check him out, you know, give thanks, my Lord, for being with us at the moment.
Rastafari.
Yeah, thanks for having us here. And, you know, this is the African Liberation Network. I'm the host, Honorable Prophet Daniel. And thank you for tuning in. And until next time, blessed love and all strength and powers. Selassie,
Jah
Rastafari.
Rastafari. Blessed.
Blessed.